This is a Fox News Alert. Good evening, good morning here in Vietnam. I'm Brett Baer. We are again coming to you halfway around the world in Hanoi, Vietnam, where the second summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un ended in a very different fashion than the first, without an agreement this time. President Trump says he was not willing to give in to North Korea's demand that the U.S. lift all sanctions without an ironclad promise from Kim to eliminate its nuclear arsenal. The North Koreans held an extremely rare press conference a few hours ago to say they only wanted some of the sanctions lifted to get rid of its biggest nuclear site. The two leaders canceled a scheduled lunch and signing ceremony today. Back home, both Democrats and Republicans were giving the president varying degrees of credit for not giving in. But in South Korea's capital, the collapse of the talks was viewed with real disappointment. We have Fox team coverage. Greg Palcott is in Seoul, South Korea, where the country's news agency says the security situation has now turned back to zero. From the Trump administration, resolve about this decision and perhaps optimism about the future, even without another meeting set up on the calendar. We start off here in Hanoi with Chief White House correspondent John Roberts. Hello, John.
Brett, good morning to you. We are now in a game of dueling diplomatic narratives, with both sides blaming the other for the failure of the second U.S.-North Korea summit, and President Trump getting some support from an unlikely corner. The body language between President Trump and Kim Jong-un looked promising. But when it came down to the nuts and bolts of negotiation, President Trump walked away from the table.
I could have signed an agreement today, and then you people would have said, oh, what a terrible deal, what a terrible thing he did. No, you have to be prepared to walk.
Kim Jong-un offered to close the sprawling Yongbyon nuclear facility, the prime source of fissile material for North Korea's nuclear weapons program. But in exchange, according to President Trump, he wanted all of the sanctions against the regime lifted.
The Yongbyon facility and all of its scope, which is important for sure, still leaves missiles, still leaves warheads and weapon systems.
They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that.
At a rare midnight press conference in Hanoi, North Korea's foreign minister disputed the president's claim, insisting Kim made a realistic proposal.
What we proposed was not the removal of all sanctions, but their partial removal. The United States insisted that we should take one more step besides the dismantlement of nuclear facilities in Yongbyon area. Therefore, it became crystal clear that the United States was not ready to accept our proposal.
In an even more rare moment of agreement with the president, the Democratic leadership said he was right to walk away. Chuck Schumer tweeting, a deal that fell short of complete denuclearization would have only made North Korea stronger and the world less safe. And this from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Really, it's good that the president did not give him anything for the little that he was proposing.
It would typically be unheard of for an American president to travel halfway around the world to make a deal, then have it fall apart. But there is no playbook for a leader-to-leader engagement with North Korea.
I think everyone had hoped we could do just a little bit better, but the departure was with an agreement that we would continue to work on what has been an incredibly difficult problem.
What comes next is unclear. President Trump says the summit came to a premature close on friendly terms.
This wasn't a walk away like you get up and walk out. No, this was very friendly. We shook hands.
The president continued his praise of Kim Jong-un and at one point appeared to absolve him of any complicity in the death of Otto Warmbier.
I don't believe he knew about it. I did speak to him. He felt very badly. But he knew the case very well, but he knew it later.
But even lawmakers who backed the president's decision to walk away from the table found that one hard to swallow.
That'd be a lie. Kim Jong-un lied. I mean, he had to know. Nothing happens in that country without him knowing.
While both sides are expected to keep talking, President Trump made no prediction as to when the next summit with Kim Jong-un might be. The president said at his press conference it could be soon, maybe not for a long time. Certainly something for Kim to think about. Brett?
John Roberts just down the road here in Hanoi. John, thanks.